It's Friday. It's Friday, so let's go for 2003 Freaky Friday, which is a body swap comedy film based on Mary Rogers' 1972 novel of the same name, which would be Freaky Friday, I guess. It's starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan as a mother and daughter, respectively, whose bodies are switched by a heavily stereotyped Oriental curse. But in almost all other respects, it's quite a right-on type of film. The 2003 film is Disney's third go at adapting the novel. There was one in 1976 featuring Barbara Harris and Jodie Foster. And there was also a made-for-television one in 1995. Now, the plot is that Anna Coleman, she plays guitar in a girl band and goes to school. And her mother, Tess, is a therapist and is going to marry Ryan. But Anna resists this because of her father's death 3 years prior. And at dinner at a Chinese restaurant, in the midst of an argument between Anna and Tess, they read out a magical oriental spell which causes the two to swap places the next morning. Anna, who is really Tess, has to go to school. Tess, who is really Anna, has to administer psychotherapy to her patients. Now, over the past few decades of the 20th century, there was quite a craze for body swap films, such as Vice Versa, 1988, and also Big, also in 1988, but Big wasn't really Big with Tom Hanks. That's not really a body swap film. It's just simply a young child waking up as a full adult. So he didn't swap with anyone. It kind of doesn't count. But anyway, there was a big craze for that kind of thing. Originally, the casting for Freaky Friday 2003 was intended to have Jodie Foster, who played in the 1976 one, intended to have Jodie Foster as the mother, as she had played the daughter in that. But she declined because she thought it would divert attention. That kind of casting would divert attention from the other aspects of the film. Annette Bening was cast as the mother, but she dropped out 4 days before the filming began. So Jamie Lee Curtis was very quickly offered the part, which she took. And it really did very, very well for Jamie Lee Curtis, who up until then was kind of spy thriller type thing, but fading out from that. So she was getting a bit old for her previous role. This really did suit her very well. Did her a lot of good. Lindsay Lohan's character, Anna, was originally written as a goth, but she didn't think that people would relate to that. She said, well, basically there's nothing there. I'm quoting her. So she made up a different style for the audition. She dressed completely differently. So they rewrote it to suit that. Jamie Lee Curtis was coached to play the guitar solo in the concert scene later in the film. She also had playing advice from her husband, Christopher Guest, who played a guitarist in the film This Is Spinal Tap. So not very far away from quite good guitar playing. Lindsay Lohan trained for a year on guitar, learning it and improving. And Lindsay and the band in the film is called Pink Slip. Lindsay and the band would attend band practice while filming to keep up to scratch. So they got really good. And that's why their performance is so tight in the film. Gwen Stefani was actually offered a role in this film as a band member in Pink Slip. For both Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, however, their parts were overdubbed by session musicians for the final version of the film. Although Jamie Lee Curtis says that, well, her part was actually good enough to have gone into the film. Anyway, Freaky Friday, 2000.